We got a 2009 Skidoo MXZ X. X edition means it's like there's adrenaline, there's TNT. Those are the kind of base models. X edition means it's the upgraded. Anything that can be upgraded on it is. So I'll just take you a walk around. I have a 2-up seat that comes with it. This 2-up seat comes off. I'll show you in just a minute. I got the travel pack that comes with it. Ties right on it, snaps right in here, which is all Skidoo, and it just snaps onto there. This is the Skidoo 2-up seat. It's a $1,200 option. Pops right in and off. I'll show you in a minute. These are the running board stiffeners. That's an upgrade by Skidoo. Added that on there as well. This is the track with the studs built into the rubber. Actually, it's a very expensive track. Very good for trail riding. The big studs that people put on the tracks is overkill for anything around Ontario, anyways. This is more than what you need, and it's a really nice driving experience when you drive with one with the aftermarket studs. Take you around. So under here, everything's very clean. It's always been cleaned off after every ride. No salt ever stayed in here. As you can see, there's no surface rust in anything. This is air suspension. You can adjust with that red knob, and it's a very comfortable ride. I have back problems, and this sled has been really good to me. We've been on big trips, and I've never had a back problem from this sled. Walk around. So these are the knee deflectors. That's addition. It doesn't come on the sled from Skidoo. It's got the mirrors with the windshield, the wide windshield with the mirrors out the sides. It's a nice option. It gives you very good visibility for people riding behind you and keeping track of where they are. You have a pull start here. You have this is your key fob. Basically, that's your key. You take that off, nobody could start your engine. It's choke. It's an 800cc carbureted engine, so you need your choke. You just choke it when starting the engine. Fuel. I've always run it on high octane. Actually, it says 91 octane recommended, so I don't never put regular in it. This is your plug-in for if you have a heated visor on your helmet. You can plug it right into the dash. Here is my heated hand and thumb warmers. So once I start it, I'll show you how that works. So the hand grips warm up as well as your thumb grip. The start and stop engines right here. This is also to pop it into reverse, so it has an electronic reverse. This is the M&S, so this is one of the options that this X model has. So you have MS there, and you got MS here. To be honest, I don't know what M and S stands for, but when the engine's running, I'll show you. It's basically how to configure your gauges. So in here, you'll see you can run you could show RPM, you can show your speedo. Your speedo and RPM are also right here. So you can see it in digital. I like showing my speedometer in digital because I don't really want to follow that hand when I'm moving quick. Here, big bright numbers is nice to see. You can put your RPM in digital as well. I can also make it show the altitude. There's some other stuff I could show, but I can't remember right now. Once I get it started, I'll show you. Here on the side will be your engine temperature. Now, a lot of the models you might see on the internet, they have this big screen, but they don't have all the options in it. So watch if you're buying a sled, just because they have this big screen doesn't mean it's the upgraded digital or module. So you have to look. So some of them they'll have it'll show nothing here. It won't show their hot water. So that's an option you have to pay for extra. So that's on this one. And then on here is your gas gauge. And so these both sides, this will turn into, when you adjust your heated hand grips, this will turn into a digital measurement for that. And when you adjust your heated thumb, that'll change to a gauge to that. So it switches between different gauges. And this is your, down here, I could change that to a clock. I could change that to trip. I can change that to you show your speedometer. So I'll show you all that when it's running. This is your brakes. You have you can lock your parking brake on like that. This is your brights, your dim and brights. So this M&S, what I was saying, so you can control it as you're driving, changing what you want to see on your gauges, and then you can, these M&S buttons do the exact same as what this M&S does. your kill switch. I'm going to do a cold start for you. So I'm sitting outside, it's snowing, and and I can show you that it's a cold start because my engine temperature won't be warm. So I just want to show everybody that I'm starting it cold. There's nothing wrong with the sled, and just being honest as I possibly can here. Yeah, so this sled is also 2009, was every sled made in 2009 were Skidoo's 50th anniversary. So there's a lot of flagship sleds from this year. So just take you a walk around. So I have the Skidoo shock covers. So this just keeps ice and snow build up from accumulating inside your shock. So if you shut it down, so your coils are inside there, and it just keeps the ice and snow out. It's just kind of an extra little option. This is your ski floats. So this is an option as well. I don't think you can buy it on the sled. You have to buy it separate. So if you're basically in powder or something, it helps your sled float through the powder rather than all the snow accumulating in your A-arms. This is the wheel dolly option, so you're not marking up your garage floor, or basically I have a concrete driveway, so I just pop the wheels down and I'll drive right up the driveway, and I don't have to worry about my carbides cutting into my driveway. Really nice option. It's I think about $400 option actually. I'm going to show you under the ski here. So this is the Snow Tracker carbides. Zero darting, so when you're driving on the trail with a single carbide, you often fall into other people's ruts. It makes handling a little bit difficult at high speeds, especially. You don't want to be falling all over. You want the Skidoo to stay nice and straight. The Snow Tracker carbides do that. Once you drive with Snow Tracker carbides, you will buy Snow Tracker carbides on all your snowmobiles. Very, very nice carbides. So this is the 800R, which just means the carbureted model. 800cc. This engine was completely redone by, I actually have the people who did that. This is CMR, so CMR Motoneige. It's Saint Lazare. They actually do Bombardier rebuilds. Bombardier will send engines to them and they will rebuild them. So they did the full engine rebuild. On the 800R engine, there's a thing about the bearings in the bottom end being, there's talk about the 800R having a few little issues when it first came out. There's been recalls. So this engine has been completely upgraded with the new bearings and whatever else needed to be done to the engine. These people knew exactly what to do. So this is the 800R P-Tech, which is the PowerTech engine, 2009 MXZ X. So in the front, this is an addition to the Skidoo. This is just basically keeps ice and snow out of your A-arms in there. If you hit any branches or something, it would basically protect your underbody. So it's just a little snow deflector that goes under extra. Take you around here. The shock covers, the snow lifters. As you see, everything is very, very clean. Nothing to worry about. Everything's been greased. It's always been cleaned when it comes in the garage. Never stored outside. So this pack basically comes on and off. You could take it off. And in your running board here, this actually gets warm when you're running. So it'll prevent, I don't know if that's what Skidoo invented it for, but I've noticed when I keep things in this bag, it prevents things from freezing. If I had a water bottle or something in there, that heat just comes up through that bag and just keeps everything warm inside there. So the Skidoo rear bumper, the brake light. I'll just take you aside from looking at the track at this angle. And you can see all really clean and nice. One of the things too, these, I don't know if you can see, there's plastic rub rails up here. These rub rails are, if you have a studded track or a pre-studded track like this, you want to have these plastic nylon rails on. It prevents any studs from going in through your intercooler, which is up in here, because the snow flies up there, keeps your engine cold. So you want to have these nylon rub rails. So if you're looking for a sled, just make sure they have that, or you're going to cost yourself a lot of time and agony on the trails. You see in there, you see everything's very clean, no surface rust on anything. There's your knob. You can see the adjustment for your air suspension in the back end. Take a little angle here, a different angle from just the underbody. Try to show you everything that you can see here. So there's a studded, pre-studded track, which you'll enjoy. So we'll open the body panels up. So little knobs here, knobs here. Let's try to do this with one hand. So toolkit right up there, any adjustments you need to do. Bombardier toolkit. This is your clutch. There's a brand new belt on there. That belt was just put on. And I'll show you the spare belt I have in the front. In the front here, take the front hood off. So here, spare belt in here, your Rotax exhaust, your water engine coolant. It is a liquid cooled engine. Come around this side. This side. So on this side you got your chain case, your battery, your exhaust, your battery, your chain case is right down in here. Your oil, so always run synthetic oil. See, everything is nice and clean. So this backrest, so I'm just going to show you. So this saddlebag, you can leave that on with the 2-seat or the single seat. Show you how that works. Over here I have, this is the single sport seat that came with the sled. So I'm going to show you how this just changed. So right in here, this is the, it's the Link system by Skidoo. And they made these, everything basically can go, it's not like a stupid additive where you add a second seat and it's uncomfortable for a second driver. This is actually a full-size additional seat. So pop this off, pop your Link system off, you just pull on the backrest, the whole back comes off. So like that, that's your back. So sometimes rather than me changing the whole seat, I'll just take the back off if I am going by myself. Another thing, put your hand up in here, hear the click, and you can slide the whole seat off. Just like that. And then basically take the sports seat. Now when I put this seat on, for the 2-up seat, there's this cord that I actually did run underneath the fuel tank. This is your fuel tank. So your fuel runs in under your seat. So this cord, I had to run in and around. So when I put the single seat on, I just kind of lie it flat. Because that cord is meant for the second rider. They could hold on to that if they're not holding on to these side handles. And so then you just put that on like, whoops. Like that, it falls into the rut, and then you just hit it, locks forward. So there's the single seat, which matches the sled. This is what came with the sled. So I'll just close up these body panels nice. And I'll start it up for you. You get to see what the 800 PowerTech sounds like. It's a very nice, very powerful engine. One of the things too, this does the digital speedometer. It programs your top speed. I think the quickest I've ever went on it, I don't recall doing it because I didn't really look at the speedometer when I was doing it, but I do have, I think, a recording of 188. But I don't know when I did that, but I must have done that at one time. So panels, back on. Front panel, I'll just, before I close that up, I'll just let you see inside here, around the spare belt, the exhaust. See, everything's very clean. So there's little tabs on the side, so you just kind of put that on the front and then you just lock it up into place. Make sure that's on, make sure that's on. That's basically your front on. So that's all the panels closed. Single seat on when you have a single driver. So that does come with it. So the single seat, the pack, the double seat, the backrest, it all comes with it. As a matter of fact, that single seat I bought brand new, to basically go over the handles, because those handles when you're riding, they stick out the sides. And even with gloves on, like I've noticed my kids, their hands get cold. And I bought this brand new from Bombardier. I haven't even had a chance to use them yet. So they're muffs by Skidoo that go over the back handles, and they can stick their hands inside. They go over those arms so that the wind stays off their hands and their gloves. So that's something else I'll throw in with the sled. This is a full complete sled, so there's nothing you have to buy extra. Almost every options Bombardier makes is on it. So I'll give it a start up. So kill switch off, and I'll show you that it's a cold engine. So I'm going to pull the choke up and start button right here. So that's running. So you can see the engine. So it's saying check key. So this key sometimes. So now that the key, because I pulled it out and on. So I have it set for altitude, so it's showing altitude, and I have it set for my kilometers. This is your fuel, this is your engine temperature. As the engine temperature goes up, the gauge goes up. There's 13,871 kilometers. And then you can do basically change what you want to show up here. So I can change it to the RPM. There's my top speed of 197 kilometers an hour. I do not remember doing that, but I guess it does a lie. So you hit the M, hit the S. I don't want it to show top speed. Oh, I gotta change it from top speed. So average speed, 44 kilometers an hour. Then I can do the same setup here. So your altitude, kilometers, RPM. Like if I lock that there, it'll show the RPM. As I changes the RPM. And then same down here. So down at the bottom, right now it's set to a clock. My total kilometers on the engine, my trip A and B. And then hours, there's 20 hour per trip, 25.7 hours I drove on my last trip. And then the clock. And you can do all those adjustments from your steering wheel as well. So that's basically it. There, I got double RPM on there. That's kind of stupid. I don't know why someone would want to do that. But I usually cheat kilometers, and then I put my altitude. So altitude, if you're up in the mountains, you can basically, we went up to Mont Diable, north of Mont Laurier, and that read, it read 800 meters because we were at a higher elevation, which is kind of cool. Also, your reverse is here, so if I hit this button, it puts the engine in reverse, gives you a beeper telling you're in reverse. I push it again, puts the engine back forward. Another thing, so if I hit my thumb, my hand grip, you can see this is going to change. So that's my heated hand grip. I can shut it off, or I can turn it all the way up, depending on how cold it is and how hot you want your hands. Same for the thumb. I hit the thumb, the bottom one, and the right side changes, and this is my thumb warmer. So it tells you what your thumb is at. So not all the gauges do all of this, so just because it has this big round thing on Kijiji doesn't mean you're buying one that can do all this. So this is the X model, and it has a little bit extra options, which is kind of cool. I think the engine gauge is the most important, because whether you're hot or cold, they all have a high heat. I'll shut this off. So I'm just going to hit the kill switch. So a lot of them just show they all have, they'll tell you if you're hot, your engine's hot, a light comes on, shut it down. The nice thing about having the gauge, you get to see that thing start to get hot. And if you're driving and you notice that your gauge is coming up, you know to go drive into some powder. It means there's not enough powder going up onto your intercoolers underneath your seat, so that you want to keep the engine cooled down. Like a lot of times if you're doing a lot of road crossings where there's no snow, or if the snow is very hard packed, you kind of want to just get into pump some powder to keep that engine cool. So the nice thing about having that hot gauge here, you see that thing start to climb, before a warning light comes on, you get the engine cool. Where if you don't have that gauge, a lot of people, oh, the light comes on, then they get the engine cool. Well, the light came on, that means it hit the maximum heat. And so that's a nice little option I like to have. All the sleds don't have it. I think you can, if you buy a set of gauges, if you buy a sled with this big gauge, you can pay an extra, I think $100 or $200, and it's a module that you can add that activates this gauge. So Bombardier makes you pay for that stuff. Sorry. Bombardier makes you pay for that stuff. So just this sled has everything. There's nothing that you're gonna need. So it's a 2009 MXZ X. All the options, the 2-up seat, the single seat rider sport seat, the dollies for the wheels, the lifters. The engine is fully rebuilt, less than 2,000 kilometers ago. Don't have to worry, it was done by a professional, not a garage mechanic or backyard mechanic. Yeah, so that's it. All the options, it's got the nice stickers, and Skidoo MXZ X.